YouTube, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're on that modern... Wait a second. Today, guys, I decided that I'm really not in the mood to play Warzone or Vanguard, so I wanted to go back 12 years to hop on that original Black Ops. I haven't played this game in a long time, and it was definitely one of my favorites, so I thought to myself, why not? So in today's video, we're going to be going back in time 12 years and seeing how Black Ops still plays to this day. So something I noticed as soon as I logged into multiplayer was the fact that nobody really is playing this game, and that makes plenty of sense. But with that said, like I mentioned before, I wasn't in the mood for Warzone or Vanguard, so I was determined to find some lobbies and play this game. So after quite a bit of waiting, I finally found a lobby, and you know what map it was on? Nuketown. Now, I know what your first thought is, considering this game is 12 years old now, and you'd be right. There is plenty of hackers in this game that you're gonna run into as you find lobbies. But regardless of hackers, there is a fair amount of people just playing the game to play it, just like me. So if you're in the same boat as me and you were bored of the newer games, this is a perfect opportunity for you to hop on some Black Ops and play. And if you're on a next-gen console like me, you're gonna notice that the game plays significantly smoother than it originally did, and it looks great. As many of you know, this was the first game where Nuketown was introduced, and it's crazy to think about that we're still playing on the same map just with some different modifications 10 years later. Nuketown is obviously one of the smallest maps that was ever introduced into the Call of Duty franchise, and overall, still to this day, this map is a fan favorite, and that's exactly why we still have it in all the newer games. But regardless, this game had a lot of great maps in it that also were brought back in other games, so the fact that I was able to get a Nuketown lobby was definitely pretty cool because I honestly wasn't expecting to. But besides all the great maps in this game, there was also a lot more that it introduced. There's a lot of great weapons in this game that are still fan favorites to this day that have been brought back in other Call of Duties as well. In this gameplay right here, I'm using the FAMAS for those of you that don't know, and this weapon was an absolute beast, and as you guys can see, it slaps. In the newer Call of Duties, you can have anywhere between 5 and 10 attachments, but back then in this game, you can only have 2 of them max. This obviously limited you a fair amount, but no one really thought that there would ever be 10 attachments on a weapon, so here we are thinking that 2 is good enough. But regardless, the game was just a lot more simple and very straightforward, so it made it honestly a great time to play in my opinion. I know there's a lot of players out there that don't like playing these older games now that the new ones are out, and yes, obviously I do enjoy playing the newer games and all the new technology in them, but you definitely gotta appreciate the older games to see where you started and where you're at now. Call of Duty games have came a long way after all these years, so considering these were the games that I grew up playing, it's definitely a great time and very nostalgic for me to hop back on them. As I mentioned briefly before, there are definitely some hackers in this game, as I do have some gameplays that I'm going to show you where I encountered some. If you're lucky enough like me, you might get a Nuketown lobby with no hacker in it and absolutely dominate the other team. At the end of this game in the lobby, the other team was asking me to leave because I was playing too well, and they simply didn't want to play against me anymore, which then I proceeded to stay in the lobby because it's nearly impossible to find another game because there's so little people playing, and I did it again. This is something evidently the other team didn't like, so they ended up leaving, which sucked because it took me a long time to find another lobby. So the moral of the story here is if you're an absolute beast at the game, hopefully you don't go against kids that are absolute dog water so they don't end up rage quitting on you. Something else that was honestly fantastic about this game were the kill streaks. As you guys see in this gameplay, I just got the Blackbird, and you can see on the minimap that this thing tells you exactly where your enemies are at all times and which direction they're looking in. And if you got this kill streak, you're almost destined to get those attack dogs just because you knew exactly where your opponents were the whole time. And for those of you that have called in attack dogs in this game, you know damn straight that that was one of the best kill streaks in the game, and it was definitely worth going for. So another map that I was able to play on was a map known as Havana. This honestly was not that great of a map in my opinion, but obviously you get what you get when there's not too many people playing the game. But in this gameplay, I'm rocking with the Galil for those of you that don't know. This was definitely one of the top tier fan favorite weapons from this game, and that was because this thing absolutely tore up your opponents with ease. But regardless of that, I want you guys to let me know down in the comments below what you think about the new Warzone update in Season 3. Personally, I don't really think it's anything too special, and I really haven't been enjoying it that much. I'm someone that really enjoyed playing Verdansk, and the fact that we can't play it anymore definitely kind of sucks. Although Caldera isn't bad and we definitely needed something new, I personally think that Verdansk is a lot better. I have heard a lot of rumors saying that Verdansk will be back in the game at some point, but we'll never really know until they actually do it. Whenever I play Warzone now, I always find myself playing Rebirth Island opposed to Caldera because I just enjoy it significantly more. And I think that's something that a lot of players can relate to. I feel that a lot of people really aren't enjoying Caldera as much and they're just playing Rebirth. But going off of that, there's been plenty of leaks for the next Call of Duty that's going to be Modern Warfare 2 yet again. I know that's kind of ridiculous for them to name a game Modern Warfare 2 after there's already been a Modern Warfare 2 in the Call of Duty franchise, but this Modern Warfare 2 is going to be based off the Modern Warfare game that released in 2019. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure it plans to have a whole new Warzone map and a whole new Warzone experience, because here we are playing Warzone still with the same guns that we were playing with 3 years ago, which isn't something that really bothers me, so don't get me wrong. I like having the ability to use Modern Warfare, Cold War, and Vanguard weapons. Obviously, you have your preferences and you can use whatever you want, which gives you a lot of freedom, but we've seen something repeat itself every time the new game or every time a new gun comes out, and that's the fact that that gun is most of the time very OP. So in that case, you know how it is. If you really want to compete with your opponents, you need to unlock and level up all the brand new weapons to really be able to keep up. And this isn't something that everybody likes to do because there's always new nerfs and buffs coming out for weapons, so you really gotta stay on top of it and have all your weapons leveled up to really have that advantage. As many of you know, if you've played COD for years, there aren't many weapons that go above level 50 or 55, but every single Vanguard weapon goes to like level 70 or something, I believe. And honestly, it is definitely one of the most annoying things you have to do in order to upgrade them. It takes a lot of time, especially if you're not using double XP. And at the end of the day, we all level up our guns to mainly use them in Warzone, not multiplayer. Multiplayer definitely isn't the same experience it used to be in older CODs like Black Ops. So compared to the newer games, especially since everything is based around Warzone, that is the main reason a lot of people play multiplayer in these games. And I personally don't think that's something that's going to be different when the new Modern Warfare 2 game comes up, because like I said, it's still going to be based around Warzone, and a lot of people are still going to want to level up their weapons, and the most effective and efficient way to do that is in multiplayer of that game. But I could be wrong. We're just going to have to wait and see. You guys can let me know down in the comments below what you do to level up your weapons the quickest way. I know a lot of people play multiplayer, and I know a lot of people play zombies. So going back to the gameplay, this is definitely one of the most annoying games I played. So you remember how I brought up the fact that there is definitely some hackers in this game? Well, this is the exact gameplay where I'm going to show you where you can't kill them. Essentially, they just have God mode and you just get a bunch of hit markers on them and you can't kill them whatsoever no matter what you do. As you guys can see in this gameplay here, I was very confused at first and then I finally picked up on what was happening. So I mean, these little things definitely kind of suck, but this is also in the newer Call of Duties, as we know there's a big hacking problem. I mean, here I am trying to kill this guy and then his buddy comes up out of nowhere and just gets me from behind. But then I realized later in the game that there was an actual way that I could kill this guy, as you guys are going to notice. And that way was for me to get a headshot on him. So I guess this guy enabled the only way he could die is if he got shot in the head. Which once again is definitely pretty annoying, but at least he was killable and it wasn't in fully God mode. But once again, at the end of the day, there's nothing you can expect from a game that's 10 plus years old now, so you just gotta do what you gotta do. At least we're able to still play it. So there you guys have it. This game was a lot of fun to get on, so I definitely recommend you hop on and play for yourself if you've been wanting to. This Black Ops game was definitely one of my favorites of all times, and that's because of everything that it introduced into the COD franchise. So I was definitely really excited to get back on and play and actually find some lobbies. So guys, if you did go on to enjoy today's video or found it interesting, definitely let me know by dropping a like and comment down below. It is always greatly appreciated. And of course, guys, if you are new around here, I'm always posting the latest news with Call of Duty, gameplays, best loadouts, and much more COD related. So if that's something you guys are interested in, definitely feel free to subscribe to never miss out on a future video. With all that being said, guys, thank you for watching today's video. Definitely hop on some Black Ops, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.